Hey, hello there. Are you also looking for a change in your life? Do you want to change your life? Maybe change your job, change the way you live, where you live. Maybe you want to move to another country. Maybe you want to do the things you always or have always been dreaming of, but you don't know where to start. You don't know how to begin. You don't know how to create a vision. You don't know how to manifest things in your life. Yeah, please watch this video, and I will be sharing my life story, how I created my dream in life, and how I'm manifesting my dream in life. I will be sharing my story, like I've said, give you some tips. So first of all, welcome to my channel. My name is Harold. I'm from the Netherlands. Maybe you have been following me here on my YouTube channel for quite a while. Then you know a little bit about my stories right now. But if you're new to the channel, um, I have been working as a mechanic since I was 17. I'm 43 right now. And in 2016, by the time I was 36 years old, I was completely done with it. I was exhausted. I felt burned out. I felt depressed, and I couldn't do my job anymore. So after a couple of years of struggling in my job and thinking, and so I made a decision in 2016 to quit my job and to follow my heart. And yeah, what is in my heart is the tropics, all the wildlife, the abundant nature, just the living free and adventurous and independent outside of the Netherlands. I still live in the Netherlands right now. I haven't manifested my dream 100%, but I'm going to tell you a little bit about that later in this video. So yeah, because I have been interested in the tropics and nature, and I've been traveling quite a bit. I've been to the Amazon in Peru. I've been to Borneo with my wife, Malaysian Borneo. We've been to India, to Egypt and Jordan. Those are not the most tropical destinations, but I like the adventure and to discover new things every day and yeah, find something new and feel excited. And this is also where where I these are also the moments when I feel alive. And so because I've always been interested in the tropics and wildlife and I've when I still lived with my parents, I kept snakes and poison frogs in my bedroom for years. So after I quit my job in 2016, I had a sabbatical for almost a year. I started thinking about what I'm going to do, how is my life, what is my future going to look like. And I also did a small I followed a training to become a tour guide. So I did two. I worked for as a tour guide 2 times. I guided a tour in Peru. That was the first one. It was an amazing experience. I was so nervous, and this was also very new to me. But I had an amazing group with Dutch and Belgian tourists, and we spent almost a month in Peru, and I could show them the country where my wife is from. My wife is Peruvian, and I've traveled to Peru several times, so I know a little bit about the country and the culture. And the second time was actually during my studies. So in 2018, yeah, I did one tour to Thailand with. It was a tour with families with children, and no, it was a nice trip, but there was a lot of complaining, and this wasn't this wasn't the best experience for me. I learned a lot, but yeah, I don't know. But I already knew when no, it's good again. I'm filming with my mobile phone, and I try to something. It didn't work out that well. So, but when I started this training to become a tour guide, I already knew that this wasn't something that I wanted to do for all my life, because as a tour guide you're often away from home, you're traveling a lot, and as a father of two young children, that's not that's not the best ideal situation. At least no, that's not how I wanted to be a father. But it was just something new, and I could, I felt fresh again, and I felt alive again, and it was completely something completely different than I had been doing since I was 17. So it was a big relief. But soon after I quit my job, I started thinking about studying again, and I started looking for studies, because I've always been interested in wildlife and nature. Maybe I could do something with biology, or nature or forest management, and because I couldn't access university straight away, because of my pre-education I did when I was a teenager. I didn't have a higher education, so it was quite difficult to to start studying in a real university. We have here in the Netherlands, we have actually two types of universities. We have the theoretical university, like you have all over the world. You have a bachelor program. It's 3 years, and then you have to do a master, and then you can do a PhD. But and then we have the practical universities, as we call them. We call them HBO. It's higher education. I think if you're from the United States, I think it's called what's it called again? Undergraduate program, I think. So, but here this is actually it is a university, but it's called the University of Applied Science. So it's more of a practical study you do. It's more practical oriented. If you go to a real university, it's more theoretical orientated. But this is so and this study was a little bit more accessible for me. I only had to do three tests: one for Dutch language, one for English language, and one for mathematics. So I had to do a resit in I think it was Dutch language, in my own language. But in the end, I could do a resit, and in the end, I passed all three tests. And I could. In 2017, I started studying at the University of Applied Sciences, Van Halarenstein in Velp, here in the Netherlands. And I studied international forest and nature management, and I knew exactly when I started which kind of specialization I would do. By now they have changed the curriculum a bit, but when I was studying there, you could choose of 2 majors and 5 specializations. So you had the more national oriented major, so it's oriented on the Netherlands and maybe a little bit on Belgium and Germany. But there was also a major which was internationally oriented, and there was a specialization called tropical forestry, and that was my direction. I knew from the start that this was what I had to do, and so I started studying, and you know, I was an excellent student. I didn't have any trouble with research or studying, and so after 4 years, you know, I graduated without any trouble, any you know, it was effortlessly. But yeah, I was so happy I could do this, you know, because I had this vision in my mind. I knew where I was going. I could see my future already. I could see me living already in the future, and that helped me a lot. You know, to have this vision in your head. Okay, this is my path. I could do this, and you know, we already had. Actually, 2 weeks before I started studying, our first son was born. So you know, when I was in the you know, in the classroom with all 20-year-old students. Not all of them, but most of them were you know, adolescents. And you know, I was a brand new father. So when all the students went to the pub after class, I went home and I had to change diapers. So that was quite a change. That was quite a, but it wasn't really hard. And you know, I could get along really good with all the students in my group. So but yeah, I could do this because we had you know, we had some savings. So you know, that's one advantage we had. You know, I could quit my job. My wife was still working full time. Not when we had you know, not when our son was born, but still she had an income. And yeah, we saved money wherever we could. We skipped all the unnecessary things out of our budget. You know, like we didn't go on holiday 3-4 times a year. We didn't do that. You know, we traveled to Peru once every 2-3 years, or we had we made a large holiday, or we went to South America or Asia once every few years. So you know, we could skip that, and we didn't go out to eat a lot. So you know, we saved wherever we could. So that's how I managed to you know, to study for 4 years and not work. And yeah, I think I was 37 at the time I started studying, and everybody was like, in my family and friends, like, wow, you know, thumbs up for doing this. You know, it's really brave that you're doing this, to take this step. And yeah, and I still don't have any regrets. I still think, as of today, is the best decision I made in my life so far. It was the best decision, and you know, my life changed. So my life changed so much, but I'm so thankful that I took this step. And yeah, but now what? And so when I did my thesis scription, my thesis research I was in Costa Rica. I spent some time in Costa Rica, 8 weeks to do some research on bird diversity. I made another video about that. Please check it out if you're interested. And so I spent 8 weeks at Cloudbridge Nature Reserve. It's it's a private nature reserve in the cloud forest of Costa Rica. They have a research center over there where you know, students come to for their studies, or they have some volunteers, or sometimes also researchers. And this really made me thinking, like, wow, I like this. I like doing research here. I like to study birds and diversity. And actually, during my studies, bird watching became my new passion. So I felt at home there. I thought, you know, I have been in Costa Rica before. In 2018, we went there on holiday with my wife and our son at the time. And yeah, it wasn't love at first sight, to be honest. I really love the nature. I really love all the wildlife and you know, the abundance. And but what I didn't like is it's there's a lot of foreigners over there. You know, Americans, Europeans, Canadians, and I really miss the authenticity of the Latin culture. You know, I have been in Peru, I have been in Ecuador and Venezuela, and there you have especially in Ecuador and Peru, you have the indigenous people, the Quechua, and the Incas, and that's really pure Latin indigenous culture, you know, and that is what I missed in Costa Rica. But what I really loved is they're quite a modern country for Latin America. You can drink water from the tap. Roads are very good over there. Everything is accessible. The country isn't that very big. They have a good health system. The school system is quite good. And the second time I was in Costa Rica for my research, I started thinking, okay, maybe I'm going to start liking this country. Maybe I could start my own research project or nature conservation project, and have a small research center and have some students and volunteers. And but then after I graduated, I worked as an education assistant for a year at the university I studied. It was just at the Department of Nature and Forest and Nature Management. No, I worked as an education assistant. It wasn't really a serious position, but I could still have the contacts of my university, and learn a little bit about the forest and nature management business. So then somebody from some colleague said, okay, if you're interested in doing this, I know someone who also studied the same thing as you, who did the same study as you did, just years ago, and he also has a nature conservation or reforestation project in Costa Rica. He runs it with a friend, and so he gave me his phone number, and I contacted him and talked to him, and okay, maybe that's interesting for me as well. So this idea became a concrete plan and a real vision, and I started thinking, okay, how I'm going to start earning money. Am I going to have students over, or researchers, or volunteers? And if we look at the Corona period, the COVID period, that if something happens in the world, students and tourists are gone. And then you don't have any. You don't have an income stream. You can maybe think about do something else, but you need to have a plan B. So by the time I was also thinking about investing my money into funds or crypto or whatever, and I also was following a Dutch family in Costa Rica who was also working online and that kind of things, earning their money in a different way than usual job. So this caught my attention, and I started following them and learn about them, and okay, maybe this is something that I could do as well. So that's what I'm doing right now. I am building my own online business. I made some videos about that. Check them out. I actually created another another YouTube channel, just for earning money online and passive income and you know what I'm doing with crypto. If you're interested in what I'm doing, please check the link in the description of this video. So I just made another channel just for this content. So I wanted to separate the, you know, the various subjects a little bit. And so that's what I have been working on for the last couple of months. I haven't been making a lot of new videos about my dream of moving to Costa Rica, but don't worry, my plan is not, or my dream is not gone. My dream hasn't vanished. I still have the dream, and it's still going to happen. But I have been busy for the last couple of months, actually, with my online business, and you know, it's starting. It's starting to you know, to work, and I'm starting to generate some income. And if you have been following my channel for a while, you know that I have been in Costa Rica last December to you know, to look at some properties and to orientate myself and to see how. I also visited this nature conservation or reforestation project that I was talking about earlier, which is run by the Dutch guy, or the two Dutch friends actually. And I looked at some reforestation properties in Costa Rica, and yeah, this when I came back, this made me thinking, okay, is this something for me? Am I going to do this? Am I going to do this? Because you know, this was my initial dream of starting a reforestation project with some students or researchers, volunteers, have a small research center. But when I visited the other project, you know, this made me think, okay, when you do something like this, you're going to commit yourself for years to such a project. This is something that takes a lot of time. If you have students, volunteers, there's going to be people around you 24/7. You're going to be busy with them 24/7, especially with students, as they don't often they don't only have questions about their research, but also other practical questions like, okay, this is the first time for me. I'm on my own in a foreign country. I don't know how to cook. I don't know how to do this. So that is quite a commitment, and it made me think that it made me realize that, okay, you know, I have a family. I have two small children. They have to go to school. They're 2 and 5. Actually, the youngest one is going to be 3 next week, next Wednesday, and so 3 and 5. So they have to go to school. They, you know, as a father and as a family, you're busy with small children. So I don't know if I want to commit myself to such a serious project. You know, when I was in Costa Rica last December, I looked at a property of 80 hectares. It was over my you know, over my budget, but still it was an amazing property with, you know, primary rainforest and some deforested areas as well, which were highly suitable for building some cabins for Airbnb or for a small research center. But it was outside of my budget. But you know, if you are the properties that I've seen were a little bit outside of society. They were not really remote, but you know, because I'm working on my online business, I need internet. I need, you know, good quality internet, and especially if you make YouTube content, then you know you're reliable on good quality internet, and that's what I haven't found when I visited these properties. You know, internet quality was quite low. So this also made me think, okay, maybe if I want to do something like this, maybe on a smaller scale, maybe have a few hectares of forest, maybe have have a nice house where we could live as a family, maybe have some cabins for Airbnb, or for volunteers, or maybe for people with the same vision as we have. My wife is really interested in ayahuasca and retreats and healings, and I'm also interested in these kind of things, the more spiritual aspects of life, so to speak. But I'm not really doing something practical with that. I'm reading books, and I'm sometimes I'm meditating, I'm listening to podcasts, but I'm not doing something practical with it like my wife does. And I think Costa Rica nowadays is a very attractive country for these kind of activities. A lot of open-minded people. I don't know how to pronounce this or how to put this, but a lot of like-minded people are moving to Costa Rica, live in Costa Rica. If you go to the more touristed areas, maybe in the Nicoya Peninsula and around what is it, close to Ojochal, around the southeast coast or southwest coast, around I think it's Ojochal. I think it's also quite popular for retreats and that kind of activities. But maybe that's especially not the. I don't think I'm going to want to live in the Nicoya Peninsula. I like more the lowland rainforest, and this is more the Nicoya Peninsula is more the drier area of Costa Rica, and it's also the most expensive area of Costa Rica. I've been looking at properties in the area of Turrialba, around La Suiza, and a little bit in this area, and this is actually still quite affordable. That's also what the other Dutch guy recommended me to do. If you want to do something with nature conservation and or reforestation, look around Turrialba, Central Valley, maybe a little bit east of San Jose. That's where it is still quite affordable. And also maybe the Osa Peninsula, and maybe around San Isidro General, where Cloudbridge Nature Reserve is located. Maybe this is also still quite affordable. So that is the progress, where I'm at. As it was just for me, I would already live in Costa Rica, but I'm not alone. I have a wife and two small children, and my wife, she's from Peru, and she has a different background than me. She came to the Netherlands when she was, I think, when she was 19. Yeah, so that was in 2005. So she grew up in Peru, and she has not that she came from a poor family, but she experienced some difficulties in her childhood and with her family. Her family wasn't poor, they could sustain themselves pretty good. But if you know a little bit about Peru, it's politically it's a very unstable country, especially the last couple of years. And she has a little bit of maybe she has a trauma of that. I don't know, but she has a little bit of she's doubting a little bit to return to Latin America. She thinks that if we're going to live in Costa Rica, she thinks that she's somehow going back to Peru and going to experience all that again. But I'm trying to ensure her that no, this is not going to happen. Costa Rica is not Peru. Costa Rica is more developed. Politically, it's very stable. They even don't have an army. There's a lot of foreigners. There's a lot of Dutch people as well. Probably we will meet Dutch people. So for the children, they can still, you know, learn their language, the language of the country where we live in right now. You know, my wife, she speaks Spanish. She speaks Spanish to the children at home, so that's not going to be an issue. And I want to see them, you know, to see my children grow up in nature and in you know, in freedom yeah. I don't have any connection with my country, the Netherlands, for years. You know, my dream is to move. My dream to move or to leave the Netherlands isn't something that something from the last couple of years. I have this since I was, you know, 2021 when I started traveling to tropical countries, and when I got interested in the tropics. So for me, this, you know, this is my dream for maybe over 20 years, but now it's coming closer, and it's going to become reality. And you know, but my wife is still in doubt a little bit. I'm trying to convince her, and you know, but we're going to work that out for sure. And she has been in Peru for the last couple of weeks. Actually, she's flying home tomorrow, so I'm going to pick her up tomorrow, and you know, we're going to work on our vision and our dream, and we're going to make things more concrete. And you know, this is actually right now, it's the best time to sell our house in the Netherlands. The housing market is still, you know, quite good. Prices have going down a little bit for the last year, but it's still a good time to sell our house, and we could you know, we could make a good profit out of our house, and have some you know, some money to invest in Costa Rica in a property or a piece of land or whatever. And so I think we have for that we have a good foundation. And I'm very confident that my online business is going to start growing in the coming months. And so yeah, that's what I wanted to share with you about how I developed my vision, how I came this far, and how I'm sorry, maybe the sun is a little bit okay, maybe this is better. And lighting my head. Actually, this is my, I don't know if you can see it properly, but this is my vision board. Actually, a couple of months I made a vision board, you know, with some nice pictures of tropical nature and wildlife. And, you know, my wife also put some pictures in the top of retreats and healthy food. And so this really helps of envisioning your dream. So this is also a good tip. Make a vision board, write down your vision, write down your ideal day, your perfect day. How are you going to see your future? Talk about your future. Talk about your dream. That's also going to help manifest the things in life. Talk about it. Talk about your dream. Talk about it with friends, family. Everybody has a different dream in life, and this is my dream, and I'm going to manifest it no matter what. And it's not always that easy, especially if you have two small children, two young children. It's not that easy to just sell your house, pack your thing, and leave. They have to go to school, and you know, there's some things to think about. And but for sure, there's going to be some more updates on on my dream to move to Costa Rica. I have before my wife went to Peru. She said, "Oh, maybe we can have an interview between our two with two of us, and share this on YouTube." So maybe that's going to be the next update. An interview with my wife, and share our thoughts about this dream. So I think that's it. Hope you liked my video about my dream of moving to Costa Rica, how I came this far, and how I could help you envisioning your dream as well. Some tips and tricks. Hope you like my video. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done that. Hit the notification bell so you will be notified every time I upload a new video. And that's it. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.